to the first episode of Nikki Free TV. I am Nikki Free of NikkiFreestyle.com, and today I'm bringing you something really exciting. Today I'm bringing you something special. I am talking to Russell Wiggins of Russell's Gourmet Coffee, and he just happens to be my better half. Yes, this is my husband, who's my first interviewee on the new Nikki Free TV. Russell, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks.
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm your first person on the show.
You are, aren't you? Don't you feel great?
Yes, I feel wonderful.
You should feel
Thank you for
special,
having
right?
me.
You should
I
feel
very special.
I wanted to have Russell as my first guest because I really believe in the product that he's selling. Russell's Gourmet Coffee is a fabulous, fabulous coffee. No bitter taste. The flavor is full. The smell is robust. And it's flying off the shelves. I wanted to bring Russell on the show today because coffee, you guys know how popular it is. And to have an African-American owned coffee business right here in the city of Atlanta, I thought it would be great exposure to talk a little bit about Russell's Gourmet Coffee. Russell has been in the coffee business for 9 years. He actually started when we were living in San Francisco and transitioned it when we moved here into Atlanta. So enough of me talking about Russell's Gourmet Coffee. Let's hear from Russell. Welcome to the show, Russell.
Well, thank you, Nikki. It's a pleasure for me being here, and I'm happy to explain and tell you why we pretty much got into the coffee business.
Well, tell me how you started. I know you started in San Francisco, and you had a business partner there, but when we moved here, you kind of started doing it on your own, and it was a little bit different than what you were doing in San Francisco. So
Yes,
share that.
I used to be an executive at Xerox, where I did corporate and federal bids. And I happened to realize there were no minorities in the coffee arena. We were only in IT, janitorial, and security. And with me working with Xerox and doing corporate bids in the city of San Francisco for so long, I learned that there's an opportunity for us to get into the corporate coffee arena.
And why coffee?
One, like I said, it's the #2 commodity traded in the world, and it has a rich history of our culture, of different countries, regions, and it's a wonderful thing that you drink every day.
Well, tell the audience a little bit about Russell's Gourmet Coffee. What is special about it? What makes it different? And why are so many people, once they taste it, why do they absolutely fall in love?
Well, what I like to say is better than your average cup. And what I mean by that is that we work with small farmers far and near in the bean belt, and we import our coffee beans, and we only import the best 100% Arabica beans. Therefore, we are meticulous about what we do and how we select our beans. So therefore, I can almost guarantee you a better cup of coffee compared to a commercial roast.
So you get a lot of questions about the coffee. What are some of the top questions that you're asked about your coffee when it's introduced to someone new?
Well, to be honest with you, one of my main questions is, it says, where did I get my coffee from? Do I have K-cups, what we call single cups? And then also, do I ship and deliver worldwide? The answer to your first question, my beans are imported from Africa, Indonesia, and South America. I deal with the coffee board as well as a commercial importer that I work directly with to pick my meticulous beans, and I pick only green beans. And then we don't roast until actually you order.
So what's the difference in a green bean and a bean that's already roasted?
Well, the biggest difference is one is the color and two is the taste. Traditionally, you can't really eat or drink a green bean. It has to be roasted.
Okay.
And then we have a particular roasting profile that we follow, such as anybody does a wine or a recipe or, like I say, a spice mix. We have that same type of mixology that we allow with our different beans, or we give you a custom blend, or we call a single source blend, meaning that it came from the same country. It's not blended with anything else, no flavor or anything like that, or it's a straight single source.
And so you also said, people ask you, do you have K-cups or the single roast cups? And I know, just from being your wife, a lot of times people will ask you that, and then they kind of get defeated because we don't sell the K-cups, but we have an alternative. Can you share that?
The reason I do have an alternative because we like to go green. We like to be eco-friendly, and I like you to use everything you have when it comes to my coffee, even using the grounds as compost. So using a K-cup and then throwing it away, it's not being really green, and you're leaving a large footprint. But we want to minimize that as possible. So what I've done is talk to smaller companies, got the eco-brew refill, so it allows you to use your Keurig or your single cup brewer, and it still allow you to get a better cup of coffee using fresh coffee, because most of the times K-cups are a little bit old. So by the time they get to your home, they're about 6 months old.
Oh, really? So the coffee probably has a totally different taste.
Correct.
Based on it being already prepackaged in a K-cup and being on the shelves in a store,
Right.
as opposed to a freshly grounded bag of coffee that you can just dip out and put into one of the reusable containers.
That is correct. And you also can really guarantee where your coffee is coming from, the freshness of your coffee, and your coffee selection. You may not like what is in those particular K-cups. Let's say you want a much darker roasted coffee, and the only thing you see is regular or a medium roast. Does that mean you couldn't drink coffee?
Gotcha. So you get to choose what you want to serve that morning for yourself in a
Exactly.
K-cup.
I tell everybody the best cafe is in your home. If you can't get exactly what you want, man, hey, you don't want to be at home.
Right. I know I'm a bit biased because this is my husband and it's his business, but every single morning I wake up to a fresh brewed cup of coffee. It's either his most popular, which is your Mama's Roast.
Yes.
And then I absolutely love the Jamaican rum caramel swirl.
Yes.
And you have about 36 different flavors of coffee.
That you've seen, actually, I have about 72 flavors, but we only customize to what we want to bring. I can't just give it to y'all at once. You know,
Keeping secrets? You keeping secrets? You keeping secrets?
A little bit.
So you have 72 different flavors that are available?
Yes, because what we do, I also white label and do a private packaging label for celebrities and local businesses and groups that want to do fundraisers or they want to increase their brand.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that, or tell the audience a little bit about that.
Well, I have a private label with Kim Fields right now that we actually call Kim Fields Signature Blends. We have some delicious coffee that she's actually went through and picked her most private selection, I would like to say. And then we also have a tea brand with her coming out as well that we sourced out with a black-owned tea company that allowed us to have Kim pick her type of teas, and then we're going to push that Kim Fields Signature Collection on. Behind the scenes, it's still going to be black-owned. In front of the scenes, you're going to have Kim Fields displaying her wonderful artistic review of what she likes when it comes to coffee and tea, and we're going to go from there.
Awesome. And who else have you worked with? I know you've worked with Peter Thomas from formerly of the Real Housewives.
Yes.
And you're also working now with a couple of schools in the Atlanta area. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I work with Campbell High School and also Sprayberry High School. And what we do, I taught them an entrepreneurial program that has to deal with coffee. What we're doing is we're teaching about coffee as far as the history is concerned. We're also teaching about coffee as far as trading is concerned. And then we're talking about coffee in the history, because coffee plays a part in our entire history from 1100 AD up until yesterday.
Oh, wow. So you are more than just a roaster, put it in the bag, put it on the shelves. You are really teaching entrepreneurship. You're teaching about the history of coffee and how Black people in general have always been involved in coffee. And you're also teaching students how to make coffee.
Not just make coffee, but own either be a business as well as provide good customer service to whoever they work for. We have a school store inside the school that I teach them about target marketing, their audience, their customer service skills, value add, upsales. So when they come into a store, know your product, but also know your client.
Okay, so see, supporting Russell's Gourmet Coffee doesn't necessarily mean you're just supporting my household. It means you are supporting a community of up-and-coming entrepreneurs, of up-and-coming salespeople,
Yes.
of up-and-coming history majors, and people who didn't necessarily know a whole lot about coffee. What's interesting to me is that in my youth, we were discouraged from drinking coffee. I can remember older Black people used to tell little kids, coffee made you Black, to keep us from drinking it. But now the children are all into coffee, especially iced coffee. Talk a little bit about your iced coffee, which flies off the shelves. Let's just be honest. Your iced coffee is absolutely delicious.
Well, thank you for that. But in the coffee industry, iced coffee is a new thing in the coffee industry. Yes, we've had black coffee for a while, but with the tradition of the buying power with kids now, as well as different unique ways of buying things, more boutique-ish type things, and iced coffee is one of those things. It is almost like a growing, demand. Because, like you said, kids don't normally drink hot coffee. They drink iced coffee. And with the school, I'm using iced coffee to teach them about business. You may not be an iced coffee drinker, but your friend is, but you may be interested in such as what you're doing, talking, interviewing people, or interview somebody about my iced coffee. If there's a person who your buddy who does not drink iced coffee but is into media and wants to film it or draw a picture, well, make a drawing of the school in iced coffee. Use this product to utilize your skills.
Gotcha.
And to pull out what's best in you by what I have to offer for the
Gotcha.
school.
So it's not just about the coffee,
No.
but it's about a greater good. It's about teaching children, or teaching students, I should say, entrepreneur skills, going into a field that they like, but based on how they're producing and serving the coffee at the school. I think that's a great idea. So I want to see how you brew the coffee.
Sure.
So if we can go into the kitchen and show everybody how you brew the coffee, what the coffee profile is, the smell of the coffee, and we can go from there. How
Sure.
about that?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Some good stuff.
Okay. So we've moved over into the kitchen area so Russell can actually show us the brewing process. We've also included some of his delicious flavors and different types of coffee that he has here. And so Russell, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can show the audience how you actually brew a fresh pot of coffee every morning.
Well, thank you. If I can say so myself. Now, disclaimer, this only works, the brewing process works only with Russell's Gourmet coffee. So I can't guarantee the results at anything else that you use. All right? I'm going to show you guys how to make a cup of coffee with a brewer as well as a Keurig or single cup maker. Okay? What I'm going to do, guys, is teach you how to brew a proper pot of coffee. But first, look at this amazing display of selection that you may want to choose from. So today what we're going to do is choose I think I'm going to do toasted almond, okay? What we want to do is, if you have a particular coffee pot such as this, I don't know what you have at home, but this is what we're going to use for today, okay? What you want to do is open the top, and notice that the top has pretty much a filter. For you guys at home, that means you doesn't have to buy paper filters all the time. This is a reusable filter. Hence, the source of going green. We like to be sustainable as possible. So, to do the accurate measurements, look at your thing, your little basket. Pour, pour, pour. Now, for me, I've been doing this for years, so it's pretty much sight unseen. But what you want to do is between 1 to 2.5 ounces, depending on what your strength of coffee. This right here, my toasted almond, is a medium roast. Very good, very clean finish. So therefore, you may not need as much because I am a gourmet roaster versus commercial. So it's a little bit much fresher, a little bit richer for the palate, okay? Now, once you insert your coffee, just like that, what you want to do next is have the proper water allocated to what you want to use. Now here, if you look closely, I'm turning it around so you can see, we're going to use a 5-cup brewer, okay? It's going to make 5 delicious cups of coffee. And you want to gently and slowly pour the water in the back of the machine.
Not gently and slowly.
Slowly, hey, gentle too now. You don't want to splash, splash, splash. You don't want that. Okay? Now, now once we have all the water in, therefore we can do the correct pot of coffee. Now, insert your empty coffee pot back underneath, close the lid, make sure it's nice and tight, and do the one thing that everybody can do with one finger. Follow me now. All the way. We're going to press that on button. Boo! Wasn't that good, ladies and gentlemen? So, once this is started, you have pretty much done 90% of what it needs to be done to brew the perfect pot of coffee. Now, once these things get started, it's going to do its own thing. Nikki, you're going to smell the delicious aroma of toasted almonds throughout the building. Like I said, it tastes better than it smells, but if you give it time to brew, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be worth the wait, I promise you.
I mean, guys, if you just want your house to smell like coffee, you don't even need to brew it. It's coming out of the bag, and the smell is absolutely amazing. The aroma is, wow. I've never smelled anything like
I tell you what, it tastes better than it smells, and it smells delicious. You hear that? You hear that? Hear that coffee brewing? And it smells good.
It does. Wow, you can the aroma. I mean, really, you can. It smells different than when it was in the bag.
Yes.
But it smells more lively here.
It does.
Smells a lot more robust here.
And that's something that I like for the kids to see and smell when I do at the high schools. that I talked to. Speaking of which is one right here. It's called Georgia Morning Coffee. It's a fundraising program that we do at Campbell High School to teach kids about business skills and also to provide funding for athletic programs, things that they want to do at the particular school. There's nothing better than to help the kids, right? So what more can you do? Coffee man, coffee company, all right? Spartan Prize, like we call it. And this is their Georgia Morning, okay? But my second question is, well, Russell, I don't have a coffee brewer. I have a single cup machine. So today, I'm also going to show you how to brew coffee in a single cup way with the Russell's Gourmet Coffee. So now you guys have seen how I brew a pot of coffee, but to answer your second question, we're going to show you how I brew a single cup of coffee, okay? Follow me. Now, traditionally, most people at home, I hear that they don't have a coffee pot. They have the Keurig or a single cup maker. And do I have K-cups or single cups? My answer to that is no, I do not have K-cups or single cups. However, what I do is offer the EcoBrew as an alternative to K-cups and single cups. What this does is allows you to be eco-friendly, drink the coffee that you like and not the coffee that they provide you. Okay, which in turn gives you what? A better cup of coffee. All right? So I'm going to show you this today. Just a few easy steps. So what we're going to do is one, take the EcoBrew, which looks like this, pops in a recyclable unit. You put in the coffee here, stuff, put it in your single cup, and then you have a single cup of coffee. Let me show you. What we're going to do is grab some delicious Russell's Gourmet Coffee. And again, this only works with Russell's Gourmet Coffee. I cannot guarantee it working with any other coffee. All right. Now, in most of your refills, inside here, there is a small line that says fill. Okay. And what we're going to do is go pretty much to that line. We're going to pull this back, get to a safe area. Don't want to waste any good coffee now. All right. I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Like I said, waste a good coffee. And there, what we're going to do is pretty much fill it to that line, place your delicious Russell's Gourmet Coffee back over to the shelf safely. What we're going to do is here, once it's inside, you want to close and snap, boop. So now that we have the coffee inside of our EcoBrew, we want to put it inside of the traditional Keurig. But before I close it, this is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You see how these things are just positioned here, just sitting here? There's no real identity to how long this coffee has been brewed or when it was brewed. So therefore, you may think you're getting fresh coffee. It may be fresh to you because you bought it yesterday or last week. But however, it was sitting in a distribution center 6 months ago or 3 months ago waiting to go to the store where you were currently at. So now you have your fresh coffee, so to speak. But yes, but these are the things that we want to push and go sustainable with, okay? All right, now. So now that we have the coffee EcoBrew inside, what we're going to do is close it. See that pop up? We're going to do to make sure the water checks and close that down. And then we're going to press brew. While that's heating, it's getting you prepared for the perfect cup of coffee of Russell's Gourmet Coffee. And while I'm here, look at my suggestions that we suggest that you want to follow. Anything you like you see today, you're more than happy to go to russellsgourmetcoffee.com and order anything you like. We have whole beans and also ground.
And so there you have it. All that you need to know about Russell's Gourmet Coffee. Russell, thank you so much for joining me on my first show. Are you proud of me?
Yes, I am very
I'm proud of you as well. And so we're going to close out the show by tasting this really, really delicious cup that was freshly brewed. This is the toasted almond, right?
Yeah.
So I encourage all of you, go to russellsgourmetcoffee.com and order your favorite flavor or non-flavor. And something we did mention, you also have Blue Mountain, original Blue Mountain coffee.
Yes, I do.
So that's the best coffee in the world. You guys know that, right? So thank you again for joining Nikki Free TV. And thank you, Russell, for coming on to the show. Until next time, peace out.